This is the fourth and final episode of our saga to repair a vintage Black & Decker drill. After we fixed the armature and rewound the field coils, I reassembled them back into the housing and connected the brushes to the appropriate terminals of the field coils. Now I am going to preliminary check whether our attempt at repairing this thing occasions further efforts. The multimeter to the left is measuring the input voltage in volts and the multimeter to right is measuring AC in amps. We're going to raise up the voltage gradually and see what happens. At about 23 volts AC, we can spot a slow movement of the armature. At little more than 30 volts, we have a steady rotation. The chuck is turning clockwise as expected. And that's a thing of beauty. I just wanted to prove the concept, and here we are. Well, I had put grease only on the cogs and bearings, but I realized that the high speed of the gears tend to expel the grease centrifugally and make it gather at the bottom of the gearbox. That probably explains why you find these kind of drills crammed with grease in the gearbox. So I did the same, not to be out of the norm. Now let's test it at full throttle. A joy forever. I just noticed a little arcing on the commutator. This is something we'll have to try to fix later. When hand drills were invented by Black & Decker, in the beginning of the 20th century, there was still an availability of DC power supply as a public utility. So these drills were designed to work both under DC and AC, and that is a feature of the universal motor. I will show you that right now. Here we have DC voltage and in here we have direct current being measured. We can notice that the drill starts with a lower voltage when it is supplied with DC. This is because we do not have the voltage drop on the leakage inductances that we have when we power it with AC. I used the sanding disc with a white paper semicircle attached to it and a photo sensor to send a signal to the oscilloscope to measure the angular speed. That is what we've got. Our calculations show that this drill runs at approximately 840 revolutions per minute. Now it is time to address the trigger. What it needs is basically cleaning. I managed to clean the contacts. You can see some wear marks. No big deal. I used steel wool and isopropyl alcohol. The trigger is now reassembled. I used the original rivet because I could not find anywhere in the world someone willing to sell me a 2.4 mm diameter 15 or 16 mm long rivet in low quantities. On this side the rivet is intact. On the other side we do not have a pretty job, but at least it is secure. So now I would like to show you the ground wire connection. I will heat shrink the tube around this wire to reinforce its insulation against being worn out by the sharp edges of the housing. And here you have the other leads that will be connected to the trigger. Okay, everything in place, let's see what this beast can do. One thing that always irritates me on these drills is that they provide too short a cord, only 90 centimeters. Any hair dryer has a longer cord. Now it has 1 meter and 80 centimeters. Much more convenient. Things that still need to be done. Balance the armature lest we have a worn-out oilite bronze bushing in no time again. Check for excessive arcing on the commutator. Find an appropriate replacement rivet for the trigger and perhaps give this beast a new coat of orange painting. But for now I guess this drill lives up to the unofficial Skookum Chucher sticker. Thanks for watching. Have a good night and stay beautiful.